that this expectation here is a championship, and that is what you signed up for. Lofty goals, obviously. How do you manage those expectations, and do you think that they are reasonable expectations in the short term?
To answer the second part first, yes, I think they're reasonable. I don't look at the current roster as being that far off from a caliber team. In terms of managing expectations, I think in life you just got to embrace things. You know, you just really have to embrace things. You don't run from it. If you need to talk about it, you talk about it. You know, there's not a player. I never played with players in the NBA who were like, you know what, this year's not the year. I don't think we can win a championship. Now, the expectations here are certainly different, and as we sort of build out the culture, one of the things, and Rob and I have talked about this, you have to let go of outcomes. You just do. It has to be about the enjoyment and embracing the process. And if the Los Angeles Lakers on day one get better every day, I'm very confident that come April, we will be a championship caliber team. You still have to have a lot of stuff go right, and you can't have a lot go wrong. That's every single championship team. Just acknowledge that, right? But I think it is more about loving the process of getting better, the power of the group. If you look at the NBA now, and Rob is talking about the second apron, look, if you look at the NBA right now, the group matters more than ever. You certainly need the stars, but the group matters more than ever. You need 6, 7, 8 guys who can play minutes deep into the playoffs. The Boston Celtics, the Dallas Mavericks, the Pacers, the Timberwolves. It wasn't about the individual. It was about the group.
Hey, JJ and Rob, good to see you. Mark Medina, Sports Key, the Sporting Tribune. JJ, when it comes to accountability, what do you think that looks like when you're managing LeBron, AD, and the rest of the roster?
I think it's about establishing the standards early on. I think it's that simple. You know, we just talked about expectations for a championship. What do you expect from me? What do I expect from you? Let's have that dialogue. Let's establish what the standards are day to day. It's as simple as that. I talk about, you know, maybe not publicly, but I talk about conflict all the time because in the NBA, conflict exists. It's a natural thing in a competitive sport. The sport is conflict, right? Throughout an NBA season, it's okay to have internal conflict, right? I think you have to go about confronting those conflicts and holding people accountable, right? Confrontation to me is about conflict resolution, conflict avoidance, and being direct, being open. That's how you have to do it. But it starts with just a very simple baseline standard of what we're expecting of each other.
JJ, Ramona Shelburne, ESPN. You mentioned something earlier that kind of caught my ear, and how you journaled about coaching. I think that's interesting, is journaling, right? Is how you get to there. And I was wondering, what did you write down? Where did you get to this place where this is the job that you wanted, right? I mean, you could have had another job a couple times ago. You've interviewed for other ones. You could have waited and stayed a bit on our side of the business for a while, but you chose the Lakers. So what was it about this job, and how did you get to that process?
This job was about the Lakers. This job was about the Lakers, and it was about LeBron James, Anthony Davis, two of the greatest players ever. I've been able to do some incredible things in my life. I really have. I mean, Rob knows this. Like Monday night, I called Game 5 of the NBA Finals. Thursday, I'm in Cameron. One of my sons is playing at Duke camp in the practice facility. The other son is in Cameron Indoor Stadium. And I'm on the phone with Rob and Jeannie committing to this job in the Duke Hall of Fame room. I've gotten to do some amazing stuff in my life, right? This might be the best. And when I think about like this job in particular, it's not just about getting the job. What I wanted to do was do the job. I wanted to coach the Los Angeles Lakers. And so that was where I landed on pursuing this versus, potential other opportunities.
JJ, 20 years ago, while you were at Duke, the Lakers tried to pry Mike Krzyzewski away from Cameron Indoor to be here. What did Coach K tell you in regards to maybe looking back at that, or just this job opportunity in general?
Yeah, Coach has, since 2004, has had a great relationship with the Lakers and the Buss family. He was very complimentary of the organization. And he was very helpful throughout this process. It started, I didn't know Coach had like Google alerts, or I don't know how he gets his news, but I guess somebody tipped him off that, I was potentially interviewing for Charlotte. So I was literally flying back from a game and landed at LaGuardia, and we talked for 30 minutes that night. Ultimately did not do the full interview there and kind of put that coaching thing on pause. And then this opened up, and Coach throughout the process was very helpful in terms of just me navigating the interview process, Rob and I's communication, all of this stuff. Like, Coach was great. He still is, like, I've told the young guys this. I've talked to nearly every player on the phone. Some guys are ducking my calls. It's okay. But like Jalen and Maxwell, they were like, "Hey, Coach," and I'm like, "I'm not comfortable with that. Please call me JJ." There's one person in my life that I played for that I call Coach, and that's Coach K. Like, he's still that to me.
I think it's relevant to this discussion. You were one of the first players to have a podcast while he was active. What's going to happen with Mind the Game? You're going to be the first coach to have a podcast while he's active.
No, I am, for the time being, and hopefully it's a very, very long time, I am excommunicated from the content space. So there would be no podcast. We'll do something when I have a breather from what we have coming up. I'm going to be drinking out of a fire hose for the next month, but at some point we'll just do something for all the people that listened, and we'll have a small little video. But I'm done with podcasting for now.
For Rob and JJ Broderick Turner, JJ, Rob, you guys keep talking about culture. What does that mean, and how do you go about putting that in place?
What becomes immediately impactful when you get to spend time with JJ is he has a obsession about winning and an obsession about excellence. We've had players come through here that share that mindset. But I think the two things that come to mind in terms of culture are mixing the service component that JJ talked about at the beginning. His job, my job, is not to be out in front as much as it is to be behind the players, supporting them to be great and providing all the resources, the coaching, the mentoring for them to be great.
Now,
and then just obsessing about
Rob
the
Pelinka.
details.
All that shit, Rob Pelinka's looking at all that right now. If this doesn't work out, Rob Pelinka, you out the door. And did y'all see where is all the media at? So the disrespect towards the Lakers. It's supposed to be a packed house full of media.
It's how
What's
a group
going on,
interacts
LA?
with each other, and it's the things that a group
Pelinka.
prioritizes. And so, as the
Jenny
head coach and
Buzz.
as the GM,
Come on, man.
along with the players, we have to
Crazy.
determine how we're going to interact
See how
with
far
each
and
other
bad the Lakers don't win.
and what we prioritize. And it's all those things we talked about.
Mitch, were there a couple people that didn't get a chance that we want to? I'm more than happy. I know you guys traveled a long way to get here.
Hell, ain't that, bro? It ain't that many fucking people up in there, Palenko. Stop acting like you got 40, 50
JJ,
people up in
what are
there.
you most curious to learn about just the process
The
and art of coaching
disrespect to show you
as you
what
go
the
through this year?
what the LA media
My
really
first
thinks about the
challenge.
Lakers right now.
No, it's interesting because I have, going back the last year, I've always been a visual person. As a player, I relied on visualization. In a workout in high school, I'd have free period, and on game days, I would walk through the gym, and I would look at certain spots on the floor, and I would
JJ,
visualize coming off
stories ain't
screens
gonna
and
make
where
no
the
difference,
defense
bro.
would
If you
be and
don't
the
win,
angle which I shot the
ain't
ball,
gonna
the
make
arc
no
on the ball,
difference.
and I've sort of
And all the
visualized every
plot talk.
scenario. For the
Goodness.
last year, that's what I've done in terms of coaching. And the fun part, I think, for me is just going to be actually having that become reality and learning. I consider myself to be someone who has a high level of curiosity and a love of learning. I'm not going to be perfect. I know that, right? The pursuit of perfection, which I've tried my whole life, I've recognized you're never going to get there. So giving myself a little bit of grace is going to be important. I'm not expecting grace from any of you. I don't expect that. It's fine. No, I really don't. I don't. But giving myself a little bit of that is going to be important. If there's like a specific thing, I mean, it's very simply, what is the feeling going to be like walking out for your first regular season game and sitting there and putting your hand over your heart for the national anthem? What is that feeling going to be like?
Hi, Coach. Yeah, I work for Kyodo News, Japanese News Warrior. So
You're gonna
I
be
want
just
to
like Darvin
ask
Ham if you
two
don't win.
questions about
Out
Rui
the door you
Hachimura.
go.
First
Bye
one is,
bye. JJ
obviously
Redick better win.
roster is not set yet. However, how do you want to use his strengths on the court? And
Damn, she's
second
so
one,
horrible.
he hasn't made it official yet, but in
She
my
sound like the
opinion,
more when you
he's
be calling,
probably
call your
playing
credit
for
card
the
or you
Japanese
paying a bill
national
on
team in
some
the
shit.
Paris
She picked the
Olympic.
phone up. Huh? Can't hear you.
If he does,
You say?
would this affect your plans for Rui?
I'll start and then hand it off to Coach. We had the privilege this morning of being able to have some time with Rui. He was in the facility, and super excited to watch JJ coach him. And he did share with us, and I'm sure he'll have his own news that he's thinking through the Olympics, and hopefully there'll be good news there. But it was great to sit upstairs with him earlier today, and he's going to have a great summer.
Yeah, I thought he had a fantastic year last year. One of the things, and maybe I should have mentioned this to Ramona's question, but beyond just the Lakers and LeBron and Anthony Davis, I'm excited about some of the younger guys on this roster and helping them. I had great conversations this weekend. Two that I had that I loved were my conversation with Austin and my conversation with Rui. And, I think for him, in terms of how I envision sort of him on this team, like I want him shooting more threes. So that's a big part of it. I brought up the offensive rebounding. I think he can really become an elite offensive rebounder as we sort of build out our offensive system and how we're going to play. When we start incorporating movement and cutting, Roy can be an excellent cutter. And part of that is because, we're going to manipulate screening angles. He's going to get mismatches, and he can really score at the basket if he has smaller players on him.
First of all, Eric Pincus with Bleacher Report. Thank you, Rob, for a little bit of extra time. Just want to ask the coach here. You mentioned visualization, and coaching is a lot about details. Have you visualized how you will build out those chops of rotation management, end of game management, clock management, load management, like series management, everything that goes into those little details? And do you have a philosophy, a plan obviously you don't have the firsthand experience doing it yourself. You've been around it, you've experienced it through other coaches. And will that be something you rely on heavily with support from your bench?
Yeah, again, going back to just collaboration, like this is a fun part of this summer, over the next couple months, leading into September, is thinking about all those things, right? Once the roster is set, rotations, game management, load management, all that stuff. I think a big, and I told Rob this in Chicago, this is like a big thing for me, is just my relationship and communication with analytics and my relationship and communication with performance. Those are as important as anything else that I can do as a head coach. And so I've certainly thought about all that stuff. It's obviously going to be dependent on the roster. But yeah, I'm going to use math. I'm going to use math.
Hey, JJ, Claire Luna with The Guardian. First of all, sorry, right in front of you. First of all, happy birthday. Second of all, what misconceptions or concerns about you that you've heard in the last few weeks are you the most like looking forward to dispelling when you're the coach?
It's a valid question, and I've certainly heard everything. It's been a really interesting 6 weeks or so, just in terms of being part of the engagement farming industry. It's been really interesting. However, I don't really have a great answer for your question, because I really don't give a fuck. Like, honestly, I want to coach the Lakers. I want to coach the team. I don't want to dispel anything. I don't. I want to become a great coach in the NBA, and I want to win championships, and I want my players to maximize their careers. That's all I fucking care about.
Hey, Coach. Timothy Parker, Spectrum Networks, Los Angeles. I talked to Ryan Hollins about you. He said you were very meticulous in your preparation and said you had one of the most cleanest lockers, too. How does that translate into being a head coach, from a player to a head coach, that same meticulousness?
Yeah. Look, I'm sure there are coaches that have a certain level of OCD like me that have been super successful. I'm sure there's coaches that are messy that have been successful. I don't think there's like a perfect sort of personality to be a coach. I have to be me, though. You know what I mean by that? Like, I have to be me. For me to be a good head coach, I just have to be me. I trust in who I am. I know what my weaknesses are. I don't know all my blind spots as a head coach. Let's be honest. I don't, because I haven't done it yet. I know what my strengths are. Like, I'm confident in myself and who I am. And if the OCD helps at all, great. It'd be fantastic. I would love it if I could walk in the coach's locker room and everybody's just as dialed in as I am with just how compartmentalized their locker is, but it's okay if it's not that way.
Hey, JJ. Jim Alexander from the Southern California News Group. Welcome back to LA, by the way. With all the experience that you've had in various facets of this game, are you anticipating that there's going to have something come up this year that you're going to say, oh boy, I didn't see that coming? And how do you handle that?
Yes.
It wasn't that question, was it?
No. My expectation around something coming up and challenges on the court, off the court, the scrutiny, all that stuff, I have the highest of expectations that things are going to be there. And yet I recognize it's probably going to be worse than I could imagine. In terms of how I would handle it, look, I don't know. What's the situation, right? What's the situation? Rob and I talked during this process about a very specific thing, and it goes back to one of my earlier answers. Like, some things can't be avoided, some things I think can be avoided if you set those standards and expectations early. And so when you get to game 60 and something happens, you've already sort of built in the system for how to deal with that.
Dennis Freeman, the Compton Bulletin. Coach, what's your priority as far as developing and evaluating talent at the G League level?
Yeah, we definitely talked about that during the process. And I think one of the things that we discussed different hypotheticals, of course. One of the things that we discussed is like, what is the vision for how we're trying to play? And so a big part of evaluating players in the G League, second round picks, undrafted players, whatever, guys on the summer league roster, all of that thing is like, can they fit with who we're trying to be? And so, I'll just be honest with you. A big thing for me is like, you need two-way players. You need guys that can guard to be a championship level team. So there's going to be an emphasis on that whenever I evaluate anyone that we're looking to sort of bring up on one of those last roster spots.
Thank you.
You heard it. The new head coach, J.J. Riddick of the Los Angeles Lakers. All I can say is win or you won't have a job. Like, subscribe, share, comment to my YouTube channel. You know what it is. What LeBron gonna do? Man, LeBron gonna stay with the Lakers. I don't know. Shit, what AD gonna do? And they always talk that little, listen, if they'll play in team, this shit is comical, man. Los Angeles Lakers, man. Y'all trip. Like, come on, man. Who's go to the team? LeBron or JJ? That's the shit that JJ Redick gonna deal with all season. Who coaching you or LeBron? Listen. If y'all thinking the Lakers gonna win a championship this year, next year, it ain't happening. They don't even have the money. You hear what they were just saying? They can't make no major moves to do anything. They gonna run it back with the same players. They just talking about improvement. Man, I'm done. Man, LeBron ain't, listen, I don't believe he's trying to win championships. I don't even believe that shit anymore. I think he done soaked in the lake of life. He don't even care. I think he just good with 4 rings. He don't want to chase greatness. He already got people telling him that he's better than Kobe and Jordan. They probably believe that shit. Especially LeBron gonna stay with the Lakers. Smash the like button, hit the subscribe button. The Lakers press conference just ended. We just went live through the whole Lakers press conference. I don't know what to say. Don't JJ Redick look like the Honda guy? Don't JJ Redick look like he should be selling Honda Accords and shit around Christmas time? Look at that damn Rob Pelinka. Sometimes, listen, I think Rob Pelinka got a toupee. I think Rob Pelinka got a wig. It's called a Pelinka wig because I ain't never seen somebody with that type of motherfucking hairstyle, bro. I'm for real. And Rob Pelinka got his own 10. Like, come on, man. Listen. I bet you Kobe Bryant, man, you got Kobe just rolling over in his grave right now. He just don't get it. He just don't get it. I don't understand what happened to greatness, LA. I don't get it. Y'all won the fucking championship in the bubble. You ain't did shit since then. Won the in-season tournament. You ain't did shit. You can't listen. You can't get no free agents. You can't get no free agents. The Lakers ain't gonna win in the West. So I'm gonna say it again. LeBron, take your ass to the motherfucking East Coast. You already done had meetings with Philly. Ain't no telling you probably done had secret meetings with the Cleveland Cavaliers. You probably done had a secret meeting with the New York Knicks. You probably done had a secret meeting with Miami. Listen, LeBron, you going back to the East? Go ahead. We gonna find out on draft. Whoever pick your son. If the Lakers don't pick your son, we know you're leaving, LeBron. We know this. And then it's like, we know if you do re-sign the contract with the Lakers, we know you can opt out in 1 year. So, bro, you're not fooling us. Everybody, this is the picture you're going to see of draft night and opening day. Don't let Rob Pelinka and the Lakers know fool you. Listen, Jeannie Buss ain't got shit. Jeannie Buss, I promise you, Jeannie Buss lose LeBron James, she popping pills. She in distress. I promise you. You hear about Jeannie Buss in rehab. Anthony Davis, he already looking for other teams. Oklahoma City Thunder is salivating. Oklahoma City Thunder already said we'll throw you two or three low ball first round picks. Come on. For Anthony Davis. I guarantee Anthony Davis ain't gonna last the whole season. JJ Redick talking about Rob Pelinka talking about Anthony Davis. He's a side. He's a no the fuck he ain't. Anthony Davis wanted James Borrego. Stop playing. We're gonna find out. Training camp coming up real soon. We're gonna see what's up. Most definitely. But JJ Redick just got finished with his live press conference. The same cliche talk. But hey, comes down to a JJ win. Not next man up. You know what to do. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment to my YouTube channel. Make sure you smash that like button to support the channel. Hit the Cash App. All information pinned at the bottom of the ticker. You want to be a moderator? Hit my email. Subscribe.